Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma, and with me in a short while from now, Cheryl D'Souza will also join us. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. In a short while from now, we will connect with our experts. And don't forget that today is Friday, and today is a Learning Friday for you all, as always, because we're going to be getting you Buy Now, Sell Now Pathshala as well with Kunal Bothra. But before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So a bit of a profit booking coming in for the benchmark indices. Nifty is still holding in the greens with over a century points gain. 130 points of gain is what we are seeing on Nifty 50, and Nifty Bank is actually flip-flopping between the red and the green territory as of now. Mild gains of 11 points, but the clear outperformer today is the IT space, because do remember that towards the start of this particular week on Buy Now Sell Now Lens, we did discuss about the IT and what a performance that we have seen in all these IT majors. Post that, from the likes of TechM, Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech, LTI Mindtree, Wipro, the list is long, and all these are in the top gainers of Nifty 50. But on the flip side, have a look at life insurance companies, because for the second straight day, they are seen to be under pressure. HDFC Life being the top loser in Nifty 50 with a cuts of over 2%, and even the FMCG pack is also seeing some profit booking. But dollar index, a fall in that is definitely fueling the rally in the metal counters from the likes of JSW Steel, Hindalco. They are also showing good gains, and even Nalco is on the up move. So that's how the market picture is right now. But Cheryl, what are you spotting?
Absolutely, a strong market is what I'm spotting actually. If you look at the Shrishti, 21,300 on the Nifty coming in, 71,000 on Sensex. You know, who would have guessed towards the year end we will be ending on such a firm and a strong note when it comes to the benchmark indices. But like Shrishti mentioned, it's Friday. Every Friday we have a special learning session conducted by none other than Kunal Bothra on a BNS and Pathshala. And very good morning to you, Kunal. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. And what new are you teaching us today?
Thank you so much for that. So I think I've taken it's a completely separate topic over here, and it's on the candlestick pattern, and one of the patterns which we're actually observing in one of the more prominent sectors today. So that was one of the major reasons for highlighting this pattern. So it's called as the separating lines candlestick pattern. It classically indicates that within an uptrend there is a certain knee-jerk reaction in terms of the prices, and then all of a sudden you see the prices getting back into line. So this is, for example, two strong candlestick patterns on an upward move, then a sudden correction which comes into the market, and because the bull force is very strong, or it's a sudden knee-jerk reaction on the prices on the upside, we look at the high of the candlestick pattern, or rather the high of the red candlestick pattern, being more or less an open for the next candlestick pattern on the bullish side. So the closing is at the high point of the day. The candle is quite strong, as well as it completely mitigates the previous bearish candlestick for itself. So we've taken two examples over here just to try and give you an indication of how a separating line candlestick pattern actually behaves. So one is on the Nifty IT index. As you can see that the index was going through an uptrend. 2 days of mild correction into the index, and yesterday what we saw was a classical separating line candlestick pattern, where as you can see that the index fell down, got into a negative candlestick pattern, but the next day was a strong bullish candlestick pattern where the open of this candle is equal to the high, almost equal to the high of the previous candle, and the close has been quite substantially higher, and this indicates that this is a strong breakout for that particular asset class, in this case the Nifty IT index. I've taken one more example just to give you a historical concept of how this candlestick pattern behaves and what happens to the trends in prices. As you can see, a trend for the stock price, 2 days of knee-jerk price action for the stock, and then a separating line candlestick pattern, almost like a very similar kind of a pattern over here, where the open for this candle is equal to the closing of the previous candle, and as you can see, post that we see a strong up move, and the asset class, or in this case Adani Enterprise in terms of stock, got into a ferocious 10 to 15% rally. So we can expect something similar for the Nifty IT index, and that's one of the major reasons why I think short-term traders are getting bullish into the stock.
Okay, so that's another interesting topic by Kunal, and definitely on the spot, because Kunal did discuss about the IT space, how Nifty IT is panning out, and that's what you're seeing on the charts as well. Thank you so much for this learning, Kunal, like always. And that was about Buy Now, Sell Now Pathshala for you. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. As we come right back, it's time to take all your stock-related queries. So stay tuned and start writing to us.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related queries. Remember, viewers, you can connect to us live on the WhatsApp number that's flashing on your screen. Do remember to write your name, the stock that you're looking to invest in, mention that name as well. If you're already invested in the stock, mention the buy price, the quantity, as well as time horizon. That way, our experts will be able to help you better. Talking about our experts today, we have Kunal Bothra and Mr. A.K. Prabhakar joining us on the show. Very good morning once again to you, Kunal. And good morning to you, Mr. Prabhakar. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now, especially on Buy Now, Sell Now. And with that, let me actually kickstart taking all of the stock-related queries which are already pouring in. And this one is coming in from Ram Gopal Reddy. And this one is for you, Kunal. He's saying that he thoroughly admires your skills of technical analysis. So now he wants your view coming in on Red Tape. I'm very unsure if you tracked this one, because this was a demerged entity of Mirza International and recently listed, but he has 6,000 shares of this one. He's already in profit. He wants to know whether he should go ahead and exit out of it or should hold on to it. Also, on technical point of view, he wants your advice on that.
First of all, thank you so much for your kind words. Now, in terms of the the charts on Red Tape, of course, it's a very restricted kind of a chart, only I think available from August 2023. So very short-term time frame for me to suggest anything from a longer-term perspective. But looking at the preliminary charts, it seems like that the stock is trading into a range, 450 as a base, I think 550, 570 as a resistance. So as of now, the stock is retesting a support for itself. You can hold on to the stock. I think a better exit price, if you're looking at an exit for the stock, should be closer to 550 levels.
Okay, moving on to the next one. And Mr. Prabhakar, very good morning to you. And the first query that I have is coming from Murli from Bangalore, and he wants an advice on Ratnamani Metals. He's holding 300 shares at a price of 3,426 rupees, which he bought recently. Whether to hold this particular counter or maybe look out for some other opportunities.
No, we don't closely track this company, but for a metal company, trading at almost 39 times is a bit expensive. So you can look at other options. If I have to recommend, I think NMDC looks very good in metal space. It trades at very attractive valuation, and the expansion which is going on in Australia and even a diamond mine here, I think that stock offers very good upside. At least 50% in the next 2 years is something I'm looking at NMDC.
He's a preferred pick, but Kunal, anything on Ratnamani Metals that you can highlight?
So again, a caveat, a slightly low liquid name as such, but then I think the charts have been very strong. It's been I think a fantastic mover over the last 3 years, from 500 to now 3,500 levels. If you are already long, then I think you should continue to do that even after this last 2 weeks of correction. I strongly believe that the stock has the capacity to scale back towards its previous highs of 3,750, 3,800.
All right, moving on. The next one is coming in from Pankaj, writing to us from Pune. Kunal, I'll take this one to you. 138 stocks of LIC is what he has in his portfolio at a price of 648 rupees per share. He is in profit. Now, he wants to know, make sense to stay put with this or look to book out profits in one. He's a long-term investor. His time horizon is approximately 3 to 5 years if you advise him to stay put with this.
See, I think you should stay put with it. Now, even though, of course, the chart history is limited over here for me to try and look at it from a longer term perspective, but then the recent recovery, the base formation, the stock had shown sub the 550 mark. Months of consolidation has happened for the stock price, and this recent breakout which you've seen for the stock and taking past to 800 levels, I think that the recent recovery has been very strong on the back of some extremely encouraging volumes. It indicates that the stock has come out of a major consolidation, so I would suggest to stay put.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, Kabir Bedi is holding shares of ACE, that is Action Construction, 800 shares at a price of 480 rupees. What's the advice? Do you track this one, and should he continue to hold on?
See, it is a very good company, and the way construction action we can see in the economy in the next 5 years is going to be very good. So any correction is a buying opportunity. But if he's holding on, let him hold on to it.
All right, this one is coming from Sagar. He wants a combo view coming in on the IT index per se. Kunal, you did touch upon IT index very briefly while you spoke about BNS and Pathshala today. But he's saying, and I will quote him the way he's written the message, he's saying the way it's going up 1,000 points, over 1,000 points a day, it won't take more than 5 days to reach 40,000 mark is what he's he's expecting. That's the all-time high for Nifty IT index. He's saying that it is behaving like a sugar rush kid who just got to meet his favorite cartoon character. Do you agree to that, Kunal? Is that what you'd also relate to the surge that we see in the IT index? So one, he wants to know whether do you see this outperformance continuing despite all the other stocks have reached all-time high and gone beyond two, especially the mid-cap counters like Coforge and Persistent. So what's your view coming in the IT index in particular?
See, I'm very bullish on the space. In fact, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've been flagging off TCS, I think at 3,300 levels, and then Infosys, closer to 1,350 or 1,400 odd mark as a strong breakout candidates. And now in the last few days, I've been very bullish on Wipro. And I agree to a point in a very classic sense that these stocks are now trying to cover up the huge underperformance. So it was not an underperformance in terms of the prices, but it was performance in terms of the portfolios for the Nifty IT index and for the IT stocks. So when you see a classic cover up of the underperformance, there is a strong wave of buying which happens into the stocks, and that's the first wave of trying to just ensure that you have those stocks as part of your broader portfolios, and then comes up the outperformance stage for these stocks. So as of now, it's just covering up of the underperformance which is at play for the IT index, and I strongly believe that these stocks as well as the Nifty IT index is capable of breaking past above the previous highs.
Alright, so you don't think that this is a one-time move, it's just a sugar rush that the IT index is witnessing? You see this sort of a movement continuing going ahead also?
I see this as a strong trend in the making.
Alright, strong trend in the making. And how should one play this trend, Mr. Prabhakar? If you have to invest in any of these IT counters right now, like Sagar also mentioning a couple of mid-cap counters in the IT space have already gone beyond their lifetime high levels also. Do you think that it is still advisable to invest in these counters right now for longer term?
Yeah, I feel so. In the last 18 months, there are stocks which have not performed in IT pack. So, we like Zensar Tech, LTI Mindtree is there, LTTS is there, Tech Mahindra is there. So, there is scope for a lot of stocks to outperform. I feel even Infosys and TCS are good buy at current level.
Okay, so that's the take on the technical and the fundamental side for IT. But moving on, and Kunal, coming to you for IEX. This query is from Javed, and I guess he's writing to us for the first time. He has bought IEX at a price of close to 132 rupees at a 15% profit right now. Any targets for this one, and should he continue to hold on?
See, I believe that the stock is at the verge or at the verge of a turnaround for itself. Now, turnaround in terms of the technical chart structure, because on the weekly time frame charts, there are a couple of key moving average crossovers which are likely to happen to the stock price. Now, the stock, I think in the last 1 year, I think mid of 2022 or maybe post that, had gone to such a similar kind of a crossover, but it failed to do it. I mean, the crossover failed to happen at just the fag end, and then you saw the stock going to a correction. So I would suggest maybe wait for another couple of weeks. If this weekly crossover gets confirmed for the stock, then I believe that you could be looking at the stock hitting even 180 to 200 levels, possibly in that 6 to 9 months time frame. So wait out for another couple of weeks and then see whether the crossover happens or not.
Alright, this one is coming in from Lakshmi, who's writing to us from Bangalore. Kunal, KCP Limited, she's asking whether she can buy this one for a period of a year.
It's a decent stock. I think it's given a breakout on the weekly as well as on the monthly time frame above 145, 150 levels on closing basis. So you can consider buying the stock.
Okay, moving on to the next query. That's on Tata Motors. Kunal Krishna wants to know, is this a right time to sell Tata Motors because he's already holding 60 shares, or he could still continue this for the next 2 to 3 years? Krishna actually didn't share his buying price, but good level to book out profits, or do you believe that in the next 2 to 3 years the stock has more potential?
I think it's better that you sell maybe another 59th stock and don't sell Tata Motors for 2 years.
All right. Excuse me. Moving on then, this one is coming in from Somashekar, and this one is for you, Mr. Prabhakar. He wants to know what's the future prospect of Canara Bank as well as Elecon. He's bought Canara Bank at a price of 328 rupees per share, while Elecon Engineering he's bought at a price of 832. Do you think these both are formidable players in their respective segments for Somashekar to stay put for a longer term?
Yeah, I feel so. And in case of Canara Bank, we are very positive. Now, there are return down accounts where the collection have started to come. So even in this year, the second half and the next full year, we estimate that the collection percentage is going to increase. That is going to boost PSU banks. So Canara Bank, Union Bank are our top picks in PSU place. And even Elecon Engineering is doing a good, and their order book is also very good.
Okay, moving on. And Mr. Prabhakar, by any chance, do you track PG Foils?
No, we don't track PG.
Okay, Kunal, I guess it's a illiquid name, but Ilyas from Dubai is holding 100 shares at a price of 213 rupees. He's at a loss, but do you believe that chart has potential and the stock has potential to rather move up?
I also don't track the stock.
Okay, no worries. We'll move on to the next one then. And Mr. Prabhakar, Guru wants to know the fundamental take on Bandhan Bank. Is this a good time to enter in this particular counter?
Bandhan Bank being more towards microfinancing, there are lot of impact on the collection in NPAs and gross NPAs. So I think City Union Bank or IndusInd Bank or Axis Bank would be a better bet. Now Bandhan Bank will be a very tepid performer. Now when bull market is there, every stock will give return, but faster return will be something out of Bandhan Bank. So I think you need to take a view where you can get faster return. So I think in that City Union Bank can outperform, or PSU Bank like Union Bank and Canara Bank can outperform Bandhan Bank.
All right, Kunal, coming to you then. This one is coming from Badri, writing to us from Bangalore, and he's saying that he has about 200 shares of IDFC First Bank at a price of around 90 rupees per share. He wants to know what's the future outlook for this one. Should he look at accumulating at these levels or wait for further correction for an accumulation of IDFC First?
I think you wait out for some more time. It's a good stock to have in as part of your portfolio, but it's going through its own set of trends. I think the stock has gone to a completely divergent trend with respect to the mid-cap private sector banking stocks in the last 4 or 5 months, and it's very strange because the stock earlier was doing exceptionally well. So I'm sensing that it's a phase for the stock where it's underperforming. Hopefully, once the underperformance gets covered and you see any event triggering as a catalyst for the stock price, you may see a stronger recovery and more quicker recovery coming back for IDFC First Bank. So I'm bullish on the stock, but maybe you could probably see better levels if you're looking to average out the stock.
Okay, Kunal, the next query is from Karan and specifically for you, because he wants to know your take on DB Realty. For the past 5 to 7 years, he has been holding this stock, and at a price of 45 rupees, he bought 1,000 shares, sitting at great profits. But what's the outlook going ahead? Should he continue to hold on?
So again, bullish on the entire real estate pack. I think we've been flagging off this space over the last 1.5 odd year, in fact more. I believe DB Realty is just given a recent breakout. I think 150 was the breakout point for the stock price, and it's a good thing that you're holding on to the stock from those 45 odd levels. I would suggest that if you're not in a hurry and not looking to book out quickly, then you should ride the entire trend for the real estate stocks, which should be at least another couple of years.
Let's talk about a sector which most of them, if have not invested right now, must be feeling a massive FOMO, and that has to be the energy exchange stocks or energy related stocks. Mr. Prabhakar, coming to you. Rita has REC about 700 shares at a price of 190 rupees per share. She has IREDA at around 53 rupees per share, which is a recently listed counter, and PFC at a level of 377 rupees per share. And looking at the stock price of all three of them, definitely they've scaled past, I think, the recent targets which most of them would have possibly set, or maybe what Rita also would have set for herself. Now, she wants to know whether she should stay put with them now for a long-term wealth creation, or do you think that she should use a strategy where she should book partial profits in this particular, in all of these counters, given the fact that she's making good, steady profits?
IREDA, I won't be able to comment. REC, PFC. Now, see the stock, at one stage, they were giving a dividend of almost 10%. Dividend yield was 10%. Today, almost, this full year, the stock is more than doubled. So now at current valuation, whether now one will get the same kind of return, I have my own doubts. It is because of the change of government policy that after 13 years, both these stocks have rallied. So now it is an underperformance of 13 years that catch up has done. But from here on, I think it will be a market performer. So there are better opportunities if you want in NBFC space or financial space. So Ken Bank Finance or PNB Housing is something we like. So you can move on, take some profit. I'm not saying book profit. At least 25-30% can be shifted away from this space.
Let me also ask you, Kunal, about REC PFC, because I'm sure that there are a lot of unread WhatsApp messages that we've got. I'm sure a couple of them would be asking about REC PFC. One, if they're already making steady profits, what strategy should they use? And also two, if they've never invested in this counter and they're looking to invest, do you think now is the right time?
Well, it's not the right time, of course, to invest into the stock because they are extremely overbought in terms of the indicators, but they were overbought even a month back when REC PFC were almost at 385, 390 levels. So yes, from there, these stocks have run up another 10%, 15% higher. But then that's the nature, of being overbought. So your risk reward gets skewed. If you, example for someone who's entering now, would probably have a risk reward of 1:0.5 in favor of the risk more. So I would believe that it's not a good time to try and enter the stock at current levels. Wait out for a major period of correction. I think that could be a good entry point for these names. And for the ones who are holding, I think they can continue to hold on with a trading stop loss, but then booking partial profits over here would also make sense.
Okay, Kunal, once again a query for you. This one is on Zensar Tech. A viewer, Rosa from Bangalore, is holding 100 shares at a price of 384 rupees. Good time to book out profits or continue to hold on?
Bullish on the mid-cap IT stocks. Overall, Zensar Tech, I think, has recently given a breakout above 590, 580, 585. So would suggest a hold on the stock.
All right, on that note, we slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we will continue taking your query, viewers, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now, show where we get you answers for all your stock related queries. And today onto the show we have Kunal Bothra as well as Mr. Prabhakar with us to guide you better. Mr. Prabhakar, coming to you for the next query. This one is from Neha from Bangalore, and she's been holding CDSL. She's been considering actually to add CDSL in a portfolio for a medium term. Is the momentum likely to continue? And if you could suggest at what price maybe she could enter, current price is good to go, or maybe she should wait out for some dips. And what's your outlook for the medium term investment?
CDSL has seen a very good growth. They almost have 10 crore Demat account. In 2020 March, before that they had hardly 2 crore. So it is a 5-time growth, and it is there reflective in the price. In the last 3 years, the kind of rally CDSL has seen, I think everything is there in the price. So a meaningful correction should happen if you want to add CDSL, is my view.
This one is coming from Ashok B. And a quick reminder for all of our viewers, don't repost your query, because when you repost, we tend to lose the track of your query. So in that way, we actually end up skipping it. So let me take this one coming from Ashok B. He's writing from Chennai. And Kunal, this one is for you. He wants to know if it's good to short Nifty futures Jan 2024 expiry at current levels.
Not really. I'm still very bullish on the indices. They've not yet hit the overbought territory, at least as of now. So I would suggest to avoid this trade.
Okay, moving on, and the next query that I have is on Adani Power. Kunal, Vijay is holding 1,000 shares at a price of 172 rupees, and he also has Adani Wilmar 500 quantity at a price of 475 rupees. Should he book profit in this one, rather invest the same in Adani Wilmar, or should he completely exit Adani Wilmar and book the loss at this point?
Yeah, I think exiting Adani Wilmar could be a better strategy rather than exiting Adani Power, because that's a performing stock. And if you're looking at buying maybe one more name from the Adani group of stocks, then I would probably prefer Adani Ports as a much better and as well as a stable name.
All right, this one is coming in from Kiran Krishnamurthy, writing to us from all the way from Australia. And I'll take this one to you, Mr. Prabhakar, because Kiran has a lump sum amount of approximately 10 lakh rupees or so, which he was looking to invest in the equity markets for a long term of approximately 7 to 10 years. Now, he wants to know which are the multi-bagger companies that you think that will give them a multi-bagger returns going ahead. Mr. Prabhakar, Kiran wants about 4 to 5 stocks, but how many ever you can give would be great.
Okay. It is a very long term, but it is very appreciable. LTI Mindtree is one in the IT space which I like for a long. Tech Mahindra, previously we talked about it. In defense, we like Cochin Shipyard. And in chemicals, AMI Organic. Yesterday also they got one more tie-up from Femicon. So, AMI Organic and chemicals. In sugar, we are in a bad time in sugar, and this is the best time to buy. Balrampur Chini in sugar. And Graphite India, when it comes to green energy, Graphite India plays a major role. So Graphite India, and when it comes to real estate, I would prefer Lodha or DLF. These are my picks for a 5 to 10 years time frame.
Kunal, coming to you for your take on Star Cements. Arvind Reddy is holding 150 shares at a price of 141 rupees. What's your view, Kunal, on this particular counter?
Hold on to the stock if you've bought at low levels. I think the stock is just confirming a breakout on the swing charts above 175, 180 mark. So I believe that there should be a decent upside going forward for the stock.
All right, this one is coming in from Ryan, who's writing to us from Calicut, and he has 5,000 shares of Bank of Baroda at 200 rupees currently, Kunal. He wants to know whether he should stay invested in BOB or look to switch to any other large cap. He has a time horizon of a year or so.
I think we should stay put with BOB. If in case you are shifting to a large cap or looking to shift to a large cap, then I think the only other better alternative could be SBI.
Okay, Kunal, sorry, but I'm getting a lot of queries only for you. This one is from Giri Raj, and he's holding a call option of SBI cards. 760 call option, one lot at a price of 24 rupees. He's saying that the current market price is 25. What to do in this one? Should he continue to hold on or move out? I
think continue to hold on if possible, and I'm not sure what's your risk appetite, but then if you can convert this into a futures trade, that also could be attractive. So maybe this entire December series go by, but for the Jan series, I think you can convert this into a futures trade and hold on.
All right, this one is coming from Gopinath. He's writing to us from Hyderabad. This one is for you, Mr. Prabhakar. He's holding Ashok Leyland, 259 shares at a price of around 179 rupees per share. He is saying that the stock is not performing well in the current bull market. Is there something wrong with the company or anything wrong with the fundamentals of the company that he should be perturbed about? And he's saying he can hold on to the next 2 to 3 years. But one thing what will be very key to know, Mr. Prabhakar, about Ashok Leyland is the fact that over the last 2 years, this one has actually seen a spectacular rise as well, isn't it, when it comes to the stock price? Do you think, is it just taking a consolidatory phase right now and there's nothing wrong with the fundamentals, or do you have another view?
No, I think that there is nothing wrong in the fundamental. And normally in stock, when they perform for 2 years, the 1 year, the earnings should catch up. So that should be happening in Ashok Leyland. But we are very positive with a lot of policy initiatives from the government and their EV thing also. And green hydrogen, Ashok Leyland will have an advantage because they have a tie-up with Reliance. So we are very positive on Ashok Leyland for a long-term perspective.
Okay, Kunal, the next query that I have is from Sonia, and she wants your targets on Clean Sciences in the short term. She actually didn't share her buy price, but if you could tell your just outlook on the technical chart.
So I'm bullish on the stock, and I think it's done reasonably well over the last couple of days. Moved from 1450 to, I think today's high was approximately around 1550 mark. So it looks like the stock is inching towards a breakout. And it depends on your short-term category. If you're looking at it as maybe a couple of days trade, then I think 1550 to 1600 could be a potential target range which you can look out for the stock. But if you can extend this to maybe another couple of months, then you could probably be and if the stock provides this breakout, which is pending into the stock price, you could be looking at even 1800 plus as a potential target for Clean Science.
This one's from Ramakrishna and wants to know about Ratan India. Is it fundamentally a sound company that he can look to invest in for the longer term, Mr. Prabhakar?
We have not tracked it, but whatever I can understand, it is okay. It is a good stock, but we have not tracked it closely.
I not tracked this one closely, but Kunal, on technical front, you are pretty bullish on this one, isn't it?
Well, yes, and I continue to be bullish on Ratan India.
Okay, moving on, and let's shift focus to the steel sector then. And Mr. Prabhakar, all these metal counters are doing well today on the back of the fall in the dollar index. But Dinesh is holding shares of Tata Steel, 100 in quantity at a price of 115 rupees. Should he continue to hold on this particular counter or move out? Because metal counters are quite volatile, and this particular jump that we are seeing? Do you believe that there is more room for this particular run?
I feel so. I think, when we have a bull market, I think, even metal stocks will do very good. So hold on to it. I think, I'm very positive on Tata Steel, JSW Steel and Jindal Steel also. So, any steel company can do very good.
All right. This one, let me take this next one that I have is coming in from Sangeeta. And she has India Cement at a price of around 238 rupees per share. Mr. Prabhakar, 200 shares of India Cement. Should she stay put with this one or look to move to another cement counter altogether?
The performance has not been so good. They are trying to restructure. They are selling a lot of properties and trying to restructure. The only thing is, the Chennai Super King, the cricket team, IPL thing they have, that is the only positive. Otherwise, their turnaround has not materialized till now. So I would suggest, if you are looking at cement, there are other space like Ultratech, other space where you can invest, Shree Cement, or something like that you can invest.
Okay, Kunal, the next query that I have is from Chandrasekharan, and has actually invested rupees 2 lakh each in 2 counters. One is Vedanta and the other one is UPL. And in both of these, he's at a more than 20% loss. Good to hold these particular counters. He can still hold for the next 1 year, or maybe he should move out of these.
See, ideally, these are not one of the best counters, which have done, of course, over the last many years. In fact, these stocks have been huge underperformers in their respective spaces. But then the only part which probably makes the trade a lot more attractive is that since it's a strong bull market, and every bull market there are many underperforming stocks which also get their fair share of a chance to try and get into a stage of outperformance. So yes, these stocks have been huge underperformers, but you can just continue to hold on to these stocks maybe over the next 3 months or so. Once the bull gets into the next stage, hopefully we could probably get a better chance. You could probably get a better chance to exit these names, and but don't look to allocate fresh capital over here. Keep on trading into the other set of stocks which are already riding on high momentum.
Alright, Kunal, one more coming your way. This one is coming in from our viewer Shilpa, who's writing to us from Hyderabad, and Shilpa has bought HUL and Asian Paints. She wants to know how should she move further in these particular counters, both Asian Paints as well as HUL. She's not shared the buy price of these counters, but nevertheless on the charts.
I think both of them are very stable, okay kind of a chart. There is nothing exciting as such in terms of momentum, and I think given the markets, it makes sense to have some bit of beta in your portfolio so that you can try and take advantage of the moves on the indices. So I'm not sure what's the rationale of picking up these names and whether it's a construct of the entire portfolio. If it is, and you already have high beta stocks or maybe a moderate beta stocks in your portfolio, then it makes sense to hold on to these names. Asian Paints is slightly better in terms of the charts as compared to HUL.
Okay, that's the take on the FMCG counters. But for this, viewers, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let's continue taking all of your stock related queries that have already been pouring in. And the next one is coming in from Soumya, and Soumya wants to know whether she can look to buy IRB Infra at current price. Kunal, what's the 3-month target? And also if you could suggest any similar stocks, similar price levels that she can look to invest for a period of 3 months or so.
I'm not sure similar price level, but I think what comes to my mind, I think is in the similar price ranges HCC, which I think is around 30 odd levels. Tish TV is around 20-21 odd levels. So you can consider these two names also. And I think IRB Infra also looks attractive at current levels. So you may consider buying the stock at current zone.
Okay, moving on then, and Mr. Prabhakar, the next query that I have is from Ashish from Gurgaon. He actually wants your top recommendations from the IT and the realty space, but I see since we have discussed on the technical and fundamental side, any of your top picks from the realty space, he has a vision of 2 years to stay invested, and which will be the best counters then?
So Lodha, DLF, Oberoi, and Kolte Patel will be my top pick in real estate.
Right, with that, on that note, we'll actually start with the rapid fire. Let's take a note of the markets because off the day's highest point, at least when it comes to Nifty Bank, it's in the negative territory. But talking about Rapid fire. Then this one is from Ram from Coimbatore. He's averaged Coal India between 2011 and 2021, still holding 156 shares at an average price 301. Kunal, sorry, Mr. Prabhakar, worth holding it for the next 3 years?
Yes, hold on.
Okay, Kunal, Harpreet is having profits in Tata Power, Tata Motors and NTPC in the range of 50 to 80%. Any stock where you believe that he should go ahead and book out profits?
Hold and hold.
All right, Kunal. Then NBCC, Vivek wants to know what price to enter the stock and keep a target for next 1 to 2 years.
See, I think ideally 77, 78 is a better price if you're looking to enter the stock on dips.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, what's your take on Persistent Systems? Shaikh is holding 20 shares at a price of 6,366 rupees.
Hold on to it.
All right, this one is coming in from Satya. He's holding All Cargo Gati at a price of 168 rupees. Mr. Prabhakar, he is suffering a huge loss. Should he hold or look to exit? And also wants to know whether he should actually look at any other logistics stocks for the long term.
So in logistics, there are better alternatives. Blue Dart is what I will recommend.
Okay, Mr. Prabhakar, what's your take on L&T Finance? Rajashekhar, who is a senior citizen, wants to make a fresh investments in this one. Should he go ahead? He can stay invested for the next 1 year.
Yeah, L&T Finance, there is a big restructuring which has happened. I'm very positive on this.
Kunal, Shashil Kumar wants to know about Amara Raja purchase at 650 rupees per share. What's the outlook for this stock? Should he hold or exit?
I think you should hold on.
Okay, Kunal, Lakshmi Narayan from Hyderabad holding 180 shares of Maharashtra Seamless and having a profit of 130%. Good to hold on or book profits?
Good to hold on.
Kunal, another one for you. Rajesh Exports. Sachin has about 12 shares at 513. What should he do?
I think we should just continue to hold on, not to average.
And last one I could take, and Mr. Prabhakar, what's your take on IRFC? Bhushan has been holding the shares since IPO at a price of 26 rupees. Good to book out profits or continue to hold?
Book profit.
All right, with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire as well as queries. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Mr. Prabhakar for joining us on the show. And with that, we wind down this week's edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Goodbye from Shrishti, myself, our producer Boski, and our producer Santosh. Thank you so much for watching.